Okay, here's a good little test to test your abilities in Maya on a scene like this. So I've just got a sphere, and you can do this at home. Messed it up on a few vertices just randomly, so just grab them and randomly mess them up. And the aim of this exercise is really to bring all of this back and make it all smooth once again. So it's a little bit of a tricky one to do, and there's a couple of things that we can show how to use Maya in the process of doing this exercise. So the first way of getting these back to center is actually a good one to know, and it's the manual method, vertice by vertice. Now a lot of people won't want to really be doing this sort of thing, thinking maybe this isn't applicable to modeling today or things like that, but we're always constantly tweaking vertices in Maya when we have these low poly cages to get this perfect kind of round smooth objects that flow quite nicely. So this is still a very important technique to use. So I'm just going to go this one at a time now. The technique here is really just to use two different angles in order to get the vertices in the right way, and we could demonstrate this by going to the top view and then to the front view. So you just need two. So what I'm going to do is grab one of these vertices and come to the top view, and we're just going to line that up so we've got like a straight line here, and it's sort of following around where it should be. And then we're going to come to the front view and just make sure that that vertice there is perfectly in line on that axis. Now if we were to do that on every vertice, we'd pretty quickly have a perfect kind of an object, because the way that 3D works is two angles gives you two axes on each. 4 axes, we've covered the object, and we'll get that vertice right into the correct position quite quickly. Now on a real example, this is a sphere, so it's quite easy to do. You might have, it might be quite hard to get the front and the side views to work and things like that. So we can kind of just do this naturally in the viewport. So what I usually like to do is just use this technique. So I like to first of all Ctrl Middle click in the middle. This is so that this turns a yellow color. This middle turns a yellow color. Now we can middle click drag around without actually having to be on the manipulator. I see a lot of people in Maya always using the manipulator, having to click on it and click on these. It's really a sign of a bit of a beginner if you're always clicking on the manipulator. We don't really want to be doing that. We don't want to keep moving our mouse backwards and forwards. So this technique, we can just use the middle click drag from wherever we are, and it's going to go planar to the camera, which just means parallel. So I can sort of come in here, tweak the vertice, come up to the top view, check that it's okay, and we're now sure that vertice is in the right position. So same with this one. Come up, I'm just sort of checking it from that angle, come over the side, maybe it needs to come out just a little bit more, and we can just do this one at a time with the vertices, one at a time manually. So sort of checking that position there, coming to the front, again, you could even like check on the top and different angles just to see how that's going. So of course if something like that is a little bit better, we could use an edge to grab two vertices. So I'm just sort of like trying to see this from multiple angles. The big mistake that everyone makes in 3D is always seeing their model from the one angle. So we don't want to be doing that. We want to be really testing ourselves here. So there you go. This whole edge has moved in a little bit, so I can just grab that down to there by double clicking, bring that out a bit, and it looks like it's been scaled a little bit, so we just scale that up and then sort of come to the side and then move that out, and we're quickly getting into familiar territory. Now that would obviously take a long time to do vertice by vertice. This is how we used to do it in the olden days, but these days we have a few tools that can help us out and make this at least a little bit easier for us.